Rewind to the beginning of 1991. It's the incident from the past where a trip to explore the deepest cave in the country ended up requiring a multi-day rescue. When a rock suddenly broke apart, carrying everything in its path down the shadowy depths, a 40-year-old expert cave diver had to endure a nightmare. Watch this video until the very end to experience the terrifying situations that anyone could encounter if they dared to jump into uncharted depths. This is the tragic story of one of the world's deepest caverns, which is still a mystery to mankind. For more interesting videos like this, subscribe to our channel Adventure Uncovered. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to get notified whenever we post a new video. And without any further ado, let's get into it. Lechuguilla Cave is the second deepest in the United States and ranks 9th among the longest caves ever discovered in the world. Many curious cave divers are drawn to the scenic beauty and unique geology because they wish to see more formations' unusual beauty and map their uncharted territory. This cave is very different from others due to its exquisite features. 400 feet of passages appear to be typical cave passageways. Beyond this point is the true beauty that have captured everyone's attention. Here you can view under one roof a collection of unusual formations like gypsum chandeliers, sulfur deposits, and underwater speleothems. In addition, a unique microbiological presence, such as bacteria that consumes rocks as well as other microscopic life, can be harnessed to create life-saving medications. Scientists think that the depth of the cave may hold additional important information that will startle us all, especially in light of these amazing underground finds. A falling rock fractured the leg of a New York cave explorer on Sunday, approximately 2 miles down the country's deepest tunnel, trapping her inside. According to rescuers today, the woman would need to be pulled to safety for at least 24 hours. The woman, 40-year-old showery, New York resident Emily Davis Mobley, was stranded in a remote section of Carlsbad Caverns National Park's Lechuguilla Cave. The famous caves in southeast New Mexico that attract tourists are roughly 4 miles west of the cave. There are no public entrances to Lechuguilla. When I went cave diving for the first time, I thought it was the most exciting thing I'd ever done, says Emily in the cave. Emily Davis Mobley stated, "Caving has been a significant aspect of my life ever since." At the time, Emily was well known among cavers for being an experienced spelunker. Since 1969, when she first began her explorations, she has actively participated in caving-related events in the area. She entered Lechuguilla Cave at Carlsbad Caverns in National Park as part of a surveying expedition. She was skilled in vertical climbing and the one-rope method. There were a total of 5 people on the team. The decision was made to continue the expedition for just 24 hours. Nobody anticipated that their expedition into the cave would be a tragic one. Before the trip, she and her colleagues thoroughly investigated the cave. Their trip to the impressive Lechuguilla Cave seemed like a dream to them. Lechuguilla Caves' unique landscape features a few deep, straight pits that can reach depths of 300 feet. Once you're inside, the vertical lengths of the slides and the challenging pathways present a high physical strain. In addition, the warm temperature and humid conditions hasten the body's water loss and weariness. The difficulty of carrying out such a successful expedition in the cave was something that Emily and her team were aware of from the offset. To ensure that they headed out in the correct direction, she and her staff conducted a protracted planning and training process. Because of this, only National Park Service teams and scientific teams with surveying expertise are permitted to enter the Lechuguilla Cave. And then suddenly, the unanticipated occurred. After entering the cave from the Carlsbad side and descending 5.82 kilometers further, the journey began. Emily and the group came across a fragile and gorgeous gypsum stalactite. As the squad advanced further, the gigantic formations changed continuously. Since such rock formations could only be found in Lechuguilla Cave, the gushing sights compelled them to linger a little longer to examine them. These beautiful, natural formations are rare in most other places. Rocky terrain and darkness were all over the place. For lighting, the group had to utilize their headlamps. The rocky ground started to present difficulties as they climbed deeper into the cave. However, The group was in good spirits. They understood that if they wanted results they wanted, they would have to face the dangers in the area. Just hours after experiencing a major catastrophe, Emily was drawn to some particular feature and separated herself from her colleagues to see them. She became entrapped as a result of her curious checking. She grabbed a boulder that broke loose and weighed 80 to 100 pounds at 6 p.m. on Sunday as she ascended a slope into the cave that was around 1,000 feet in height. Before we move on to this amazing story, for more interesting content like this, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. And also, don't forget to hit that bell icon for notifications whenever we post a new video. Emily was no longer in charge of the surface. She found herself plummeting about 12 feet in a matter of seconds. But that was not the end. She suddenly dropped and a rock followed, landing on her leg right below the knee. Emily, who was now helpless and doomed, screamed for assistance, and her squad quickly responded, rushing into such a terrible position in response to her shrill cries. Immediately, teammates of hers began the rescue operations. Emily was in excruciating discomfort. About 4 miles northwest of the Carlsbad entrance, she was situated on a limestone-studded ridge in the Guadalupe Mountains. A tense 91-hour underground conflict's high point was that moment. When you're alone and fighting for your life in a deep pit with a badly injured leg, just thinking about how you might be saved. Emily was forced to spend the following days lying on a stretcher as she awaited a safe evacuation from the pitch-black cave. Her painful lessons for the following 4 days were being taught to her by the institution that she had entered with such zeal. Over large rocks and narrow tunnels, she was being dragged. The help was provided by nationwide rescuers. To make a more secure exit, she needed to maintain high morale. Over 100 cavers helped in the rescue. An additional 100 local, state, and federal officials assisted them. Fortunately, many of the rescuers had an experience level of 10 to 20 years in cave exploration. The future held life for Emily. Even though she had a severe injury at the time of the rescue, she was saved. She wasn't in any danger overall. Minor injuries like cuts and bruises took their time to heal, as did a leg injury. To survive her ordeal, Emily Mobley, the courageous survivor, needed this. I was concerned that it might take longer than 3 or 4 days, possibly 5 or 8, but I never worried that I wouldn't survive. The precision of the rescue was more impressive than my injury, she said. The well-wishers gave her one of the 31 pizzas provided by neighborhood pizzerias while she was being transported out of the cave and as she was being loaded into the ambulance. Dr. Steve Mossberg, a doctor who was also a member of Emily's survey team, stayed by her side the entire time as she was excavated and had already wrapped her leg in an inflatable splint. Aside from this painful and dangerous event, Emily intended to continue her expedition as soon as she had gathered the most important lessons from it. In that operation, which was the deepest cave rescue in American history, more than 200 people took part. They included volunteers from the Cave Project as well as the employees from the National Park Service, the Bureau of Land Management, the United States Forest Service, and other organizations. The government had to spend roughly $100,000 on the rescue effort. Emily Mobley and other researchers from the Lechuguilla Cave Project made up for that expense years ago. Please leave a comment down below describing how you would respond if you encountered such a wound in a pitch-black cave. Injuries are unavoidably a part of these expeditions, but one should strategize to prevent them. Emily Mobley was undoubtedly extremely fortunate to be saved and given prompt medical attention. She maintained optimism and remained calm in the face of the challenge. On the other hand, if she had become stuck so deeply that no one could rescue her, the situation might have gotten worse. As a result, it's claimed that prevention is always preferable to cure. That is all for today's video. If you liked the video, then please give us a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel as well as hitting that bell icon to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. Please express your thoughts down in the comment section below, and feel free to spend some time watching our other videos on our channel too. But until then, goodbye.